Hey guys, in this next video I'm going to show you how to annotate or dimension the viewports that you just made in this sheet layer. So we're going to start. We'll start and we'll dimension this top view, we'll dimension the front view, and we'll dimension the side view. Now unfortunately, yet we can't just we could click a button and get the views, and it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, yet we cannot just click a button and get the dimensions. It would be cool, and I think it's going to happen someday, but it ain't happening right now. So we're going to learn how to dimension these guys. Now you should remember how to dimension things from intro class. So it's essentially the same thing. So the important thing to remember when you're dimensioning viewports is you have to dimension. You have to open up the viewport and go into the viewport and dimension it. So I'll just give you an example. Like I'm going to dimension the width, and it looks like the width of this top piece should be 8 3/4 inches. Click, dimension, and it's 2 1/4 inches. What the heck? Well, because we're not dimensioning inside of the viewport. So I'm going to delete this guy. We're going to click. We're going to double click, and there's this box that's going to come up, and it's going to ask you a question. You're going to edit the viewport. Do you want to edit the annotation, the crop, or the design layer? Now, 95% of the time I click this, I want to edit the annotation. So I'm going to keep that right for now. I'm going to click OK. Now everything gets grayed out, and now I'm going to do the dimension. So sorry for that little glitch in the video, but what we're going to do now is we're going to try and dimension this guy, and again, it should be 8 3/4 inches. So start, and sure enough, 8 3/4 inches. We're in good shape. So now we have to put the center line down this, and again, if you remember from Intro to CAD, there's not a way to do a center line yet, so we have to build that. So I'm going to make a center line right here. Zoom in. It's a little futzy, but that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do for right now. So I'm going to select this guy, see how he looks. There. Zoom back out, and there's our center line. So it looks like the top view is all dimensioned. So I'm going to exit viewport, and now again now everything travels with that viewport. It's kind of neat. So I'm going to undo to get back. So now we're going to let's dimension the right side view. So again, leave it on annotations. We will do this guy here. I'm going to drag him out just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to do this guy down here. Drag him out just a little bit. I'm going to add my trailer onto that. These two. Okay, and then we have to quick come in and put in our center line. So I'll quick do that. Draw this guy right there. Move him in. That. Another one. Mirror this guy around. Here we have. I'm going to grab this guy now. Now I'm just going to drag him down and hold down my copy key. Fine. Let's see, just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Go. Now he's not in the center, but I'm going to find the center. Here we go, midpoint. Slide him over a little bit more. There we go. Let's zoom out. That dimension, they look just about right. So exit the viewport there. Now we're going to come back and we're going to do this guy. And there's a little more going on here, and there's a little trick we're going to have to learn to use this. So I'm going to zoom in, and we'll quick dimension, do our linear dimensions. So our first, well, we need to put in the center marks for the circles. So what I'm going to do, if we want to center mark circles, I'm going to come over here to our dimensioning tool set, look down, and here's our center mark. And I'm going to click, and it's making a noise, and if you look down in the right corner down here, it says the selected object cannot have its center marked. Well, what the deal is Vectorworks is really smart, it's really good, but it's not smart enough to know in this viewport that this is a circle. It's not smart enough to know this is a circle either. So what we have to do is we have to fool Vectorworks into thinking there's a circle there. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw two circles, and we're going to pop them on top of these guys here. So I'm going to draw the first circle, and I'm going to draw it on the one on top. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to do a two-sided, start up at the top, drag down to the bottom, and it looks like that circle is right over the top. So now the problem is now we can't see that there's a hidden circle there. So what we're going to do, and this is where we fool Vectorworks, is we're going to change the fill to none, and we are going to change the line to none. Now there's a line there, you can see the circle, but there's also our phantom circle. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to draw this line. Now this guy I can leave if I want, but I'm in the habit, anytime I have, like, again, quote unquote phantom circles, I pull the color out of them. So now what we can do, let's come back and let's do our center marking. Click, click, and there we go. Here's our center marks. So now what we can do is we can do our linear dimensions. So I'm going to start. Let's do the lower right corner, and it's going to be from this corner. Drag him out there, and then we're going to drag there, there, and then we're going to do the last right there. We'll just move him over just a little bit. When we're done, we'll just leave that right there. Okay, and then we have one last linear dimension here, right there. So all we have left is to put in that radial dimension. So what we're going to do is I'm going to select the dimensioning tool, the radial dimensioning tool. And if you remember, our modes up here are internal diametrical, external diametrical, internal radial, external radial. And if you're looking at this example with me, you'll see that it is an internal radial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select internal radial. I'm going to click, and it's finding that phantom circle. And here it has internal radial. And now the only thing that's wrong is you see how the text is flopping the wrong direction. So we have to come up here and change the shoulder. There we're right. Do this, and radial 1 3/4 inches, and we're all set. So I'm going to exit this viewport. I'm going to take this guy and these guys, and I'm going to slide them over just a little bit so the dimension gets out of the side of the. And here we have our finished drawing. Looks pretty darn good, I would say. Looks pretty good. So, unless there's any questions, hearing none, I will say this video is completed. So in these last two videos, I showed you how to create viewports on sheet layers, and in this last video, I showed you how to annotate or to dimension viewports and to dimension views. So have a great day.